those who don't know, this is Elder Amoja Ajabu, your host for Ajabu Speaks. This program actually has a dual function. It also serves for the political education class for the Black Panther movement. And so therefore, I am your professor. Your professor is a Pan-African. And as a Pan-African, we do not define ourselves by the place that we was born. If we define ourselves by the place that we was born, then we could, if born in an oven, be called biscuits, as Malcolm would say. We don't do that. Where we was born is not the definition or the point of departure or the launching pad for us to have our worldview. Our worldview comes from where we are from, not where we was born. And we was from the African continent, and as being from the African continent, we are Pan-Africans, which means that we believe that Africa should be for Africans at home and abroad. We shouldn't be from the richest land, which Africa is, and living as the poorest people. And as a Pan-African, we are working to change that and look at the world in a way that will be changed. Today, let me say this too, because you got to know this. You got to know this. I am unbossed, and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the naked truth. That is the reason why this political education class exists, so that we can act like that we are who we are. I want to follow up on the topic that I was speaking about last week, which is tyranny. And to lay the foundation, tyranny is any time that the government acts outside the laws of the government. And it's clear that the government is acting outside the laws of the country by the situation that's going on in Chicago and LA. ICE is arresting people, and they're United States citizens. And you got to understand that in them arresting people, now they say that they're going after illegal aliens, which are basically the Hispanics coming out of South America. But when you look at what's happening in Chicago and LA, them brothers right there, them brothers right there, and this brother down here, them us. Those are not Hispanics. And so you got to understand that you got these two white folks arguing over what to do with us, talking about that they coming after Hispanics, when in actuality they coming after us. And so you have Hexif deploying those people at us, and we got to come up with the psychological and in this essence the legal way to resist that, so whereas that when we do resist it, that the law is on our side. And whether the law is on our side or not, we got to resist it. But it would be better if we had the law on our side. And that's what I'm talking about. That's where the tyranny comes in. With us being United States citizens, the ones of us that were born here, which that's a benefit, but I don't look at the world from because I was born here. I got to deal with being here. But my view is worldwide. My view is from the platform of Africa. But what's going on here has to be dealt with. And with us dealing with it, that means that if we can get the law, which we can, to be on our side to resist in the way that we have to resist, and we will, then the balance of using force is on the side of the people, our side, if Karen Bass and Brandon Johnson, Karen Bass being the mayor of Los Angeles and Brandon Johnson being the mayor of Chicago, if they file something in court that says that the behavior of ICE is tyranny, it's outside the law, then they will arm us to say, y'all got to stop that. And we will stop that by any means necessary, because the Declarations of Independence says that if a government becomes tyrannical, then the people have the right, if not the duty, to change that government. And we'll change it by resisting those on the ground. And see, when you talk about those people that are resisting on the ground and carrying it out on the ground, them the same ones that give me the hanging tree. Those the same ones that done this to us. We ain't going, shoot, we ain't going back. We ain't doing that no more. All of that's done. Well, I say it's done, but they still hanging people in Mississippi. But we got to stop it. And we can stop it and send a message that we can stop it by Karen and Brandon giving us the legal ammunition to where that we can do it legally. Now, there is something very interesting going on. Because those police officers, their leadership, especially in the military, are upset that Hexeth is telling them to go into the neighborhood and act like you see them acting in those pictures. You know, it was a couple of months ago that he called a meeting of all of the major military leadership in the world. And he called them to Washington, D.C. and sat them down and told them, look, there's some changes getting ready to be made. One of them is we ain't going to have no fat generals running around here. You're going to have to tighten up on that belly. You're going to have to push away from the table. We ain't going to have that. And another thing we ain't going to have is we ain't going to have any dissension. If you don't like going into the neighborhood and jumping on people and arresting people like we done told you to jump on people and arrest people and kill them if necessary, then you need to quit. Get up out of here. And then when you're talking about the recruits that we're going to bring into the military doing basic training, look, it will no longer be a picnic. The drill sergeant will be allowed to put his hands on the soldier, and there won't be any repercussions for that. And when it comes time for the training, look, it's going to be based on what a male can do, and if a female can't do it, then she need to get her butt out of here. She ain't got to have, she didn't have any reason to have her butt up in here anyhow. And the Joint Chiefs, after being admonished like that, didn't like it. They don't like taking orders outside of the law. And Karen and Brandon, y'all can help by filing that issue, tyranny, in the court, having a court ruling that says that arresting a citizen for no legal reason is tyrannical, is tyranny. Then what you do is you give those leadership of the Joint Chief of Staff the legal ammunition to reject any order to carry out what's going on in your cities. Because at that point, if it's a tyrannical government, it is a government outside the law, and the Declaration of Independence gives citizens, to include military officers, the right to resist that government. And so it's very imperative. Karen, Brandon, get on your job. Now, I know you're filing things, and I heard you at the, Brandon, I'm talking about Brandon, I heard you at the rally, the No Kings rally. I heard you. You stood up, and you used the word tyranny. But now we need for you to file it in court. Saying it at a political rally is outstanding. Yeah, that's good. But my brother, I need for you to file that in court. Karen, they're doing the same thing out there in L.A. And the court's already is stepping toward tyranny because the court is saying that they can, the duck, you know duck, walk like a duck, quack like a duck, got yellow hair like a duck. You know, Donald D. Duck. You ain't got Duck, man. Where Duck? Give me Duck. Give me Duck. I got to have Duck. But the courts have already ruled. There he is. There's OD. OD. WD. They don't rule that he can now federalize the troops, but he can't deploy them. And that's saying now, Duck, all right, now we with you, but now you can't go too far. And see, Duck is trying to create a situation to where it's that people do something catastrophic to where it's that he can go back to the courts and say, now look, you know, I told you I needed to do, and I called it the Resurrection Act. It wasn't the Resurrection Act, the Insurrection Act. He wants to implement the Insurrection Act, and he's trying to get the people to act in a way to where it's that he can do that. And if they do that without having the court ruling of his behavior being tyranny, then the court will look at the people's behavior as being outside the law. Karen, Brandon, don't just use the word. And that psychological war is good, but don't just use the word. File something in court using that language. Then when Duck comes and tries to provoke somebody into doing something, the law says, well, you're acting tyrannically, you're implementing tyranny, and so the people have the right, if not the duty, to respond to you in a way by any means necessary. And now look, you done turned your back on me. You done turned your back on me. Don't be mad. I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling people what they need to know so that they can respond to your dastardly and your dastardly behavior. And just because you turn your back on me, don't mean that I'm going to stop telling them. It's going to get told. And we're going to resist. And we're pushing these mayors to give us the legal ammunition to where it's that we can do it and not be outside the law. And it's interesting, see, and y'all see, he keep telling you that he's coming after those Hispanics, but he's really coming after us. Those pictures were us. You don't find a whole lot of Hispanics. Well, I mean, you do in Chicago and L.A., a whole bunch in L.A., but he's coming down in our neighborhood. He don't go where they live. He's coming down in our neighborhood. The target is us. Give us the legal right to respond by any means necessary so that we can handle our business, and also give the soldiers, the Joint Chief of Staff, the ammunition to where it's that even if he gives the order, they resist it because it's an order given by a tyrannical government, and the Declaration of Independence gives us the right, if not the duty, to change that government if it becomes tyrannical. I think that's all I want to say on that. I want to transition to talking about the Sahel Alliance. And as you know, the Sahel Alliance consists of the presidents of 3 countries: Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. And those brothers, Ibrahim Traore, Abdurrahman Gianni, and Brother Goita, they have come together to form an alliance to say that Africa should be for Africans, whether at home or abroad. They also sick and tired of Africans being from the richest land in the world today, but living as the poorest people. And in order to change it, I was listening to a speech that President Ibrahim Traore was given to his government workers, saying that, okay, even though that we're tired, this thing is not going to turn around instantaneously. It's going to take some time, and as we are turning it around, don't none of y'all think that y'all going to be living high on the hog, because we ain't going to live high on the hog. They'll tell everybody can live high on the hog. And in order for us to be able to live high on the hog, we can't use that Western way of thinking that a work day is 6 to 8 hours. Now we got to work. And we got to come to work and spend the time and do the business so that we can get in the position to where everybody can live a much higher level of life. But right now, don't you think you're going to be living high on the hog because you in the government, and to send you the message that you're not going to be sitting high on the hog, I am going to cut your budget and give it to them youngsters out there that's creating, who ain't got no schooling, who's taking the phone apart and trying to put it back together so that they know how to do it, who's taking the scooter apart, trying to put it back together. And when they put it back together, there might be some parts still left, but that's all right. They're trying to learn. And I'm going to give them the money so that they can go get another scooter and look at that so that they can put that scooter back together and have another scooter so somebody can ride on. I'm going to start taking out that money that you got out of there, which is too much, and I don't see you doing a whole lot with. I'm going to cut that out of your budget and give it to them so that they can prosper, so that we can move forward. Is there a problem? And the people applauded. Now, these are the people that he's taking the money from. They applauded. And he's trying to tell them, hey, look, this ain't going to be easy. there's a fight. And with this being that war, and we're addressing that too. He has just graduated 60,000 youngsters. I think they said 14, 15 years old, who have been trained to use an AK-47. He's building an army. The same thing is happening in Niger and Mali. Them brothers are one. And they're saying that we're going to bring this all together and get ready, because now we done took the land. Now we got to organize to keep the land. And in order to keep the land, we're going to have an army, and our children are our soldiers. They're going to make us free. And it's going to cost. Lord, it's going to cost. And if the cost is going to be lives, it's going to cost. But we're going to have to spend those lives to stop, to spend those lives, taking the lives of those who's been stealing the resources so that we can start getting the benefit. And if we start killing enough of them, or when we kill enough of them, and they come to their senses, they'll get up out of there and don't come back. And then we can start benefiting, and we might even be able to start before that. But we will be able at that point for sure to start benefiting from the resources that came from the land, because all the time that we're fighting, we're building the infrastructure. That's why we're giving the money to the youngsters. That's why we're giving it to the scientists, even if they don't have no schooling. Hell, we understand that 80% of us can't read, but that don't mean we're stupid. That just means we can't read. That don't mean we ain't thinking. That just means we can't read. Hell, we can speak 4 or 5 different languages, which shows that we got the intellect. We just don't have the structure to develop our people in a way to where it's that when they go through something, when they get through, that they're an electrical engineer, or a teacher, or a business major, or a media mogul. We just don't have that structure. But that don't mean that we don't have the talent to do it. And until we have that structure, we're going to give resources to our creative people so that we can get in the rightful place in the world order of things, because we control the resources under the land in which we reside. And we control those resources, just not for the people that's on the land, but for the people that's from the land. That's a Pan-African. It makes all the sense in the world. And so I am planning, we are planning, to take a delegation to Burkina Faso to address that. It's mandatory that we bring it together. So I'm getting ready to get in trouble, but I'm going to leave that right there. And I'm going to use this last part of the show to talk about some local stuff that's going on here in Indianapolis. There is a data center that the folks are trying to get out on the east side, want to put out on the east side. And the people, and me too initially, was all against that, because what our research had shown us was that those type of data centers are detrimental to the neighborhood. They cause the utilities to go up, especially the water and the electricity. They contaminate the water, and they use so much of the water that there may not be any available in your house. Now that's what we, in my own research, showed. But I talked to Ryan Gibson, who is on the City County Council, who is pushing this. And he says that it's not the same type of data system. So He has agreed, and the sister that's Paula, who's over the what is it, Hoosier Environment Agency or whatever it is, they have agreed to call a co-meeting to where is that Ron will bring the data center people to where the people can question them, and we need to have experts in the room. Dana and other people that know that kind of stuff. You need to be in the room so that you can ask the question and you can use your knowledge to evaluate what's being said to the benefit of the people, I being one, so that we understand and can make an intelligent decision, an informed decision about whether putting the data center in the neighborhood is a good decision or not. If it's a good decision and takes care of the blight and provides what jobs that it can provide, then it's a go for me. But if it's contaminating the water, going to cause the utility bills to go up, I'm against that. But we're going to let the truth determine that decision. One other thing that I want to talk about, and I'm saying this because we got to quit battling each other. I mean, we can disagree, but we can't be battling each other, and we should not disagree about the truth. Ron, if the data center that we've been reading about is the same type of data center that does all that destructive stuff in the neighborhood, then you as a representative, and Lord, you know, I know you. And I know you're a good man. And you told me that you would not do anything like that, and I believe you. So come and make your case so everybody else understands what you understand, and we can go forward. But if for some reason your understanding is not the understanding of how that data center will exist within the neighborhood, then I expect you to change. I expect you to say no go. Because we need that type of integrity. I'm going to say this quick. Also, when you talk about the situation with Judge Coleman being accused of putting a woman out of her house and giving her 2 days to get out of the house, and she was terminally ill. You tell me my information, well, it looks like it happened, but it happened years ago. And if it happened years ago, I don't know why it's coming up now. But again, we need to quit battling ourselves. Because all the times that I've come before you, and I've come before you several times, and you didn't always rule in my way either. You understand what I'm saying? But I thought you was fair. You were fair. And so let's get at that so that we can work together. I need for y'all to help me. And y'all see the Cash App. Help me. You know, if you can send us $5 a month, we probably can make it happen to where it's that we can give you a product that, what Z said, we can give you the message without the mess. I'm bought and unafraid of the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the naked truth. This government needs to be legally declared tyrannical. The soldiers, y'all need to, when that happens, you need to rebel against orders from a tyrannical government. The people, once you get that, then you can resist them putting their hands on you like you saw in the pictures. We can show up like that right there. We can show up like this right here. My brother, Grandmaster Jay, and the AFAC, Ain't Fucking Around Coalition, we can show up and handle business and be within the law. I'm bought, unbossed, and unafraid. One question. You ready?